And welcome one, welcome all. It's time for NCAA Division III Men's Hoops non-conference matchup a week before your favorite holiday season and mine. I know my broadcast colleague Tylor Sorensen has promised all of you a treat this evening as the visiting Scarlet Hawks of Illinois Institute of Technology head north to Kenosha to take on the home Firebirds of Carthage. Hello everybody, alongside my aforementioned broadcast colleague Tylor Sorensen. I'm Peter Ferreri. Tyler, IIT usually does pretty good in their conference play this year. Maybe not the start they wanted, 3-5 overall, but they're 2-2 in conference play. The Firebirds, historic type season so far, 7-2 overall, 2-1 in conference play. Let's start with the visiting Scarlet Hawks. What's going to be your output today, or your outlook for what we have in store?
They just got to try to slow down the Carthage offense. Obviously, last Saturday, we saw it versus Elmhurst. They got off slow, they didn't shoot well, and that ended up leading to their downfall. So if the Scarlet Hawks are able to do that and make it so that way, Carthage, you're not able to shoot, you're going to have a cold night from three, you're going to have a cold night from the field no matter what, then they can end up winning. But it's going to be a tough shot, especially with this Carthage team that's looking for some revenge this week.
On the flip side of things, the Firebirds, of course, 2-1 overall, 7-2 in conference play. Julian Campbell, 17 points a game so far, on top of 8 blocks, 7 steals. He is all over the place and second on the team with 67 rebounds. It's a Julian Campbell show, game in and game out.
Yeah, it really is. He recorded his third double-double on the season already last Saturday versus Elmhurst. So you can't say that he hasn't been popping off on this sophomore season. Something I know you were saying that when he came in, he looked healthier than he did,
yeah.
and he's looking better each game, it seems like.
Speaking of what the lineup may look like, it's going to be your usual lineup. However, a little bit of a switch. Antoine Nesbitt back in the lineup. He's healthy once again, but A.J. Johnson likely to miss today's game, nursing an injury of his own. Having your point guard back, good. Losing your shooting guard, not as good. How do you think that dynamic's going to line up today?
I think it's going to be interesting, especially having Antoine Nesbitt back. Obviously, he hasn't been feeling well the past few weeks. So luckily, this week has practiced all week so far and is back in the lineup, hopefully. So it's going to be nice to have him back, especially just being that high flower. But one person that has been in his place has been the younger brother of A.J. Johnson, Ryan Johnson, and he's been making the most of his opportunity, scoring the most points he has in his first year as a Carthage Firebird with 20 points on Saturday versus Elmhurst. So I'm going to be expecting him to take that another jump again against this Scarlet Hawks team.
Garrison Carter, of course, the leading scorer for the visiting Scarlet Hawks, just over 12.5 a game. Also is number 2 on the team, for total rebounds. So it's going to be big man versus big man. We're going to take a timeout. Introductions, national anthem. We'll be back for the start of the contest in just a moment on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
In Carthage College. At this time, please direct your attention to the American flag located at the north end of the arena. It draped the coffin of Captain Frank Vavrin, a former Carthage student who died in Vietnam in 1970. The flag is a gift to the college from his parents. In remembering Captain Vavrin, we pay tribute to all who have sacrificed their lives for our country and honor those who today put themselves in harm's way in service to America. And now at this time, please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts which we watched so gallantly streaming, and the
And now for the starting lineups for tonight's men's basketball game between the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks and your Carthage College Firebirds. First, let's meet the Scarlet Hawks. Starting at guard, the 6'1 senior from Chicago, Illinois, number 1, Tomas Telagurkis. At guard, the 6'1 senior from Arvada, Colorado, number 2, Caden Gigstad. At guard, the 6'4 junior from San Juan, Puerto Rico, number 10, Dario Biaggi. At forward, the 6'6 senior from Riverside, Illinois, number 25, Andrew Vian. And at guard, the 6'5 sophomore from Island Lake, Illinois, number 30, Garrison Carter. Head coach for the Scarlet Hawks is Terrence Gray, assisted by Ebenezer Nunu, Alak Ayar, and Standell King. And now, introducing your Carthage College Firebirds!
They say I walk like a king, talk like a king. You can act around now, say the same thing. They chasing the fame, but they got what the name. But they ain't got what's running through these veins. Make way for the king. Make way for the big shots, big balls, big rings, big rocks, big bag, big moves, big cars, big man, big plan, get lost, we've been this wrong. Look at me now, can't hold me down, so give me the crown. We're not the same, we're not the same, we're not the same, we run everything. We're not the same, we're not the same, they ain't got what's running through these veins. Make way for the king.
Starting at guard, a 6'3 sophomore from Whitney Young High School, hailing from Chicago, Illinois, number 4, A.J. Williams. At guard, a 6'4 junior from the Prairie School, hailing from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, number 5, Antoine Nesbitt. At forward, a 6'7 freshman from Oswego East High School in Oswego, Illinois, number 10, Ryan Johnson. At forward, a 6'5 senior from Maine South High School, hailing from Harwood Heights, Illinois, number 11, Philip Bulatovich. And at center, a 6'8 sophomore from Palatine High School, hailing from Chicago, Illinois, number 50, Julian Campbell. The head coach for your Firebirds is Steve Jurkovic. Coach Jurkovic's assisted by Brad Emmer, Quincy French, Noah Howard, Keenan Baltimore, Josh Washburn, and Nick Wolf.
And welcome back to the Firebird Broadcasting Network alongside Tylor Sorensen. I'm Peter Ferreri, live from Tarble Arena in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Up here in the Perch, are we going with Perch? Have we decided yet?
I think it is the Perch. I
Okay.
think that makes more sense than, what was the other one, the Nest?
Yeah, so somebody else had mentioned Nest, but you know what? I said, you know what? I go with what Tylor says because he's bigger and stronger than me. So up here in the Perch, left to right are going to be the home Firebirds and their home grays, red numbers and letters, black trim. The visiting IIT Scarlet Hawks, same color. We have the Battle of the Birds as they are in the visiting black jerseys, red numbers and letters, white trim. Campbell about to take the tip off. He's in the starting lineup. Again, A.J. Johnson not going to play in today's game, but Antoine Nesbitt back. But his younger brother, the younger Johnson, is in the lineup, so we'll see how that goes. But again, the emergence of one A.J. Williams this season, such a difference maker for the team. Bulatovich in the starting lineup, out to Williams. Williams looks for three, bang! 3 ball, 15 seconds into the game, and 3-0 Carthage leads.
Yeah, and that's already a lot better than what they did on Saturday versus Elmhurst, only shooting 13% from the three-point line. So immediately coming out saying, "Hey, we're going to be on fire this night and try to shoot it from downtown."
Looking for the long three ball to answer back, no good off the side of the rim. And the starting lineup is Gigstad along with number 1 Tomas Teklagurgis. Joining him in the starting line, number 30 Garrison Carter along with number 10 Dario Biaggi. Bit of a box and one defense. Open for three. The big man rolls around, no good. Baladovic tries to chase down the offensive rebound, but Gigstad able to get there out of Ralston Valley High School. Campbell tries to take a poke at it. Also in the starting lineup for the Scarlet Hawks at number 25, Andrew Vian out of Riverside Brookfield, and first basket made by IIT, and they're looking for a bit of a three-quarter court press.
Yeah, they really are. And again, Carthage has faced this before a few times. So far in this young season, they faced zone, full court press, three-quarter press, basically anything you can throw at them they have faced. And so far they've looked good at breaking this on the offensive side of the ball.
Baladovic now thinks about it, goes baseline, looks to turn around, manned up, loses possession, swiped away, potentially pulling up for three. The lefty up, good. Three ball for number 30 for the Scarlet Hawks, Garrison Carter out of Wakanda High School. Carter, we talked about the leading scorer right now for IIT, averaging 12 and a half, already up 5-3. 2-point lead for the Scarlet Hawks. Campbell, the nice baseline jumper to even it up at 5.
Yeah, Campbell, 6'8", is going to be the tallest player in the court no matter what. Unfortunately, isn't able to block that shot, but still, it's a good job by IIT making sure, hey, Campbell's there. We're still going to attack him no matter what. And his presence down in the baseline for the defense is always going to be tough to deal with.
Chris passing inside. Campbell with the right hand. He's got a little bit of a height advantage. Well, I should say this. Vian is 6'6". Julian Campbell 6'8". But also, talk about the little bit of the weight discrepancy. It is on paper 79-pound difference. So that again, you could be just as tall as your opponent, but you know, a hair under 80 pounds, that's a lot of force underneath for Campbell.
It really is, and especially too with how he uses his body to make it.
Three ball up and good. Dario Biaggi out of San Juan, Puerto Rico, delivers another three. IIT back up by 3. Nice press by IIT, at least forcing the hand of Carthage to take a moment to try to set things up. 15 on the clock. Nesbitt has it at the top. Passes to Baladovic. Fouled on the way in. Nice pass by Nesbitt to get that penetration.
Yeah, and is able to find him too. Baladovic was sort of hidden in the background by a bunch of IIT players, so able to find it, and he is coming out for number 12, Tanner Lamb, who we saw a few weeks ago. He had that explosive come out game where it was like, hey, no matter what he shot, he was able to knock it down.
Campbell calling for it underneath. Passes back out to Williams, who pump fakes in his own right to the three ball. Floater, right hand, no good off the back of the rim. Nesbitt. Campbell gets the offensive board, forces up strong. And Campbell is going to get fouled with an aggressive slam of the ball.
Yeah, you know, he wanted that one to go in so that he tried to do an and one, but I mean, hey, on the season so far, Julian Campbell shooting just a hair under 80%, 78%, so still in the upper echelon of his free throws, as I say it, as he misses the first one. But I mean, hey, when you're at the line 33 times, you're hitting at least just a hair under 80% of it. That's all that you can That's all that you can ask for.
Last time these teams played, November the 24th, 2018. A 70-68 victory, Carthage over the Scarlet Hawks. So it's been quite a little lapse between when these two teams played, and that was on a neutral court as well. Last time they played here in Kenosha was 2017, an 81-79 victory over the Scarlet Hawks. Only time it was the opposite result. Scarlet Hawks beat Firebirds 86-80 overtime in Chicago off the red line. That was January of 2018. But IIT, again, not a team to be reckoned with in a non-conference matchup. Fast team, quick twitch, and up by 5. Calling for it right back is the leading scorer, Carter. No good, and Johnson able to get the rebound. Campbell double teamed, misses the shot, gets his own rebound, and the slightest of touches gets it right back where it needs to go. Firebirds trail now 12-9.
I mean, if you're IIT, that's how you got to try to stop Julian Campbell. You got to throw as many bodies as you can at him and try to just hope, like, hey, whoever we're leaving open is either going to miss the shot or they're not going to be able to find the open man no matter what.
Campbell now backs in, tries up with the right hand. Taken away. Nice spin on the ball, Biagio. The International Sports Academy grad, also known as Biagi to his friends. 14-9 IIT. We were talking pregame with, some of the fans here and some of the home representatives of Carthage, and they said, although we don't have a lot of familiarity with this team, we know they're a good squad. Campbell finds another baseline shot, 2 for 2 from that same spot.
It's going to be tough, especially when you look at the games that IIT has played before. They played Oshkosh, Albion, Chicago, Concordia, Chicago. So there are a lot of tough games that they have ended up losing. But, I mean, hey, they're always going to play because it's tough, as that is set away by the first-year collegiate athlete, Ryan Johnson.
Johnson with a good job knocking that one away as Campbell gets a breather, and in comes Bernero. So again, with the rotation, with the injuries, Johnson's usually the first one off the bench. Bernero is that rotational guy, but now Bernero having to step up and get a lot more playing time with Ryan Johnson being thrust into the starting lineup with the absence of his brother. Nice lane with the left hand, easy bucket. And you can't make it that easy. Number 31, Nick Ortiz out of Alameda, California. Quick scoring for IIT so far. Nesbitt wants them all and gets 3. Firebirds back to within 2.
Yeah, exactly. Like you were saying, IIT, they're shooting it fast and making sure, hey, we want to get this game going fast. We're not even 10 minutes in. It's already both teams are over double digits, almost at the 20-point mark.
Off balance, down to 10. Step back, 3 ball, left hand, no good. Nesbitt comes away with it, hard off the glass. Williams now looks for the pass, finds Lamb. Lamb wants all 3, and he gets the trifecta. Firebirds gain the lead, 17-60. Nice little run for Carthage as they are back on top. 4 for 5 out of their last 5 shots, and they lead by 1.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what Carthage needs. They need to get rid of that slow start that they had versus Elmhurst and go on a run. That's exactly what they have been doing. Versus Elmhurst, they only scored 23 points in the first half. Right now, they are 6 away from getting over that threshold.
You can't win them all, and if you can, good for you. But I always take the mindset of, there's ebbs and flows, there's things that happen. Maybe not the result they wanted recently, but this is one of those situations where you have a few non-conference games in a row. Now that you're in the holiday non-conference schedule, it's what you can call a get-right game for Carthage to head into the holidays.
Yeah, it really is, and not to mention as well, after this, they're headed down to I believe they're headed down to Florida for the Cruising Classic out in Miami Shores, Florida. So a nice little warm weather as well. I think these guys are really hoping for.
Yeah, I always say, they should invite the broadcast crew to do those away games. Those emails, I believe, are left unread in the respective inboxes, calls not returned, but that's okay. One day we'll get there. Three ball, no good. Nice offensive board. Bernero with the block. 18 remaining on the shot clock. Third attempt now for the Scarlet Hawks on this time around the half court. Just kind of backhanding the pass. A very ill-advised pass for number 44, Sultan Abwisa, out of Doha, Qatar. So nobody was there.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what Benero's bread and butter is the defensive end of the ball, just making sure, hey, no matter what, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be on your face and trying to make sure that we can do it no matter what.
Bernero can't find the left-handed hook shot. Balanovich now pump fakes, turn around, fade away, rolls around, no good. So two close looks for the Firebirds on that possession, not able to deliver. Scarlet Hawks try to answer back with Di Bernero with another board. Bernero now hands off to teammate Colton Sigel, who's come into the game. Sigel, one of those nice rotational guards. Swiped away, looking for three is Lamb. Can he find it? No good off the side of the rim, and that'll go directly out of play. So after that timeout, Tyler, it's been a dry evening of shooting for both teams.
Yeah, it really has, especially after that timeout. I feel like that always happens whenever there's a timeout. There's a nice little dry spell, and then as soon as the ball goes out of bounds, there's going to be a nice run of just points scored on both teams.
Next time the Firebirds back here in Kenosha. It'll be a few days after the new year, January 6th, against Milliken back into conference play. Nesbitt in the lane. Up and under. What a beautiful roll for Nesbitt. Able to deliver. Firebirds extend their lead to 3. Driving in with the left hand. Nice layup. And that's that length we talked about for number 25, Andrew Vian. Using that entire 6'6" frame. It didn't hold up well against the power of Campbell, but again, when it was an equal force of Bernero, Nesbitt gets those two back. Antoine Nesbitt back in the starting lineup and at 7 points already with the 10-minute mark approaching in the first half.
Nice return game for Nesbitt as well, missing the previous two with the sickness, so making sure, hey, I'm going to go back in the starting lineup and I'm going to make my name felt.
Passing underneath, looking for a shot. Foul going to be called on Nesbitt. Tried to swat it away, but hooked with that left arm, so be the first time at the line for the Scarlet Hawks, and that will be number 21, Rodney Murphy out of Oak Park of River Forest. As Campbell's on a knee, about to check back into the contest. First one up and good. Bernero gets a breather as Campbell comes back in. Minus Campbell, now smaller lineup for the Firebirds. Let's see if Illinois Tech can take advantage. Second shot up and good. Scarlet Hawks back within 1. Almost taken away. Sigel now, so having to get back are the Scarlet Hawks. So good defense by Nick Ortiz, almost forcing a turnover. Nesbitt looks for Campbell, nobody there. Ortiz, the hustle, the pull around, the layup, and 1. What a sequence for Ortiz. Almost gets the steal on the inbound, runs, full on sprints back, forces a turnover, and off balance rolling layup. IIT's regain the lead and a chance to extend that lead to 2.
Yeah, and Colton Sigel was like, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong there? And it's like, you sort of saw that you sort of grabbed a bit, but I mean, hey, he's trying to get as much as he can, try to stop the run for the and one.
Ortiz now shooting the and one, and good. Ortiz on the season, 8 for 9 from the from the free throw line. So, as suspected, a very good season so far from the charity stripe. Layup with the right hand, no good for Balanovich. You talked about the drought they had in recent games at the three-point line. Don't want to see that happen if you're a Firebird fan in the paint as well. Some missed layups today already. Rainbow shot for three, no good. Campbell gets the rebound. Pushing the defense a bit now is number 21, Rodney Murphy. Man defense at this point. Poked from behind, and there's where that length comes into play for Vian. You're not going to outpower Campbell, but you are for sure going to be able to get around him with that speed and quickness. The lefty, three off the front of the rim, no good. Campbell gets the board.
Yeah, and Campbell was trying to look for an over-the-back call on the defensive end, so she's got to try to be a little bit more aware of where the defender is. Try to be like, hey, I can see you, I can feel you, I can make sure, hey, I want to make sure that I'm the only person in this block.
So 2-point lead for the Scarlet Hawks. As Williams checks in for Nesbitt now, likely to take the one spot. Not a lot of fouls, quick first half so far. I always appreciate that, nice clean game. There's a place in time for games to be won at the free throw line, but so far only 5 combined fouls. Sigel calling for it, back to Williams. Balatovich now with 13 on the clock. Gets from Campbell, Williams back up to Campbell. He's not afraid to take the three. Quick flick of the wrist, and the big man drains the trifecta. And I want to welcome you all to the Firebird Broadcasting Network full-fledged holiday season. Just a week away or so from Christmas, 2 weeks away from New Year's. No good off the front of the rim. Campbell another rebound. Passes for Williams. And Balatovich able to come away with it. It's a good thing that full court press wasn't on. Sigel wants three. Can't find it. Carthage lead still sits at 1. Balatovich now drives it down. Thought about the three. Not known for the three ball, but they're not afraid to give him that space. Falling away, Tanner Lamb, no good. 7 minutes remain in the opening half.
That was 3 quick shots back to back to back, trying to make it, and each one of them ended up going awry. But Carthage trying to slow it, IIT trying to slow it down a bit, trying to make sure, hey, we want to get that perfect shot off to try to get that point and try to regain this lead back.
Yeah, you're right. It's been a transition. Early on in this game, it was, first shot that's open, take it now. They're really setting up their half-court game. Weren't able to find that three-pointer. Carthage again coming off a tough loss on the road, 74-59 at Elmhurst. Before that, they were on a 5-game win streak. And that's going to be a jump ball. As in come some subs for both teams with 6:21 remain. Got to appreciate the hustle for Balatovich, not afraid to get scrappy. That's how you used to be when you played, right? Just get in there, make it happen.
Yeah, when I played down at the Rec Flex, just down there, especially in the defensive end, I was much more of a defensive-minded guy. I wasn't running full court all the time, trying to make sure, like, hey, I want to shoot the ball. No, I was much more on the defensive side, getting those rebounds and being that nice hustle player that every gym 5-on-5 needs.
Nice job down the baseline. No good off the front. Huge rebound from behind is Garrison Carter. I mean, it just shows you why he's one of the best players for this IIT squad out of the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference. Down to 3-2, fading away the lefty. Oh, what a nice shot. And that's what can throw off a defender when, when they're a righty, they have to take that extra dribble and turn their body. The fact that he was dribbling into the lane with his left hand, quick flick up, defense couldn't get there in time. IIT regains the lead. That'll be a foul called against Campbell. 4 fouls now against IIT.
Yeah, and like you said as well, whenever there's a lefty, it's not even just the fact that, hey, it'll throw you off. It also throws you off mentally, too, because you're expecting him to be a righty. You're so used to going up with your left hand to try to block the shot. Yeah. So now all of a sudden you're like, hey, I got to go up with my right hand or go up with both hands to try to block the shot instead of just being in the way.
Oh, nice rotation. 3-pointer for number 3, Sigel. He gets his first basket of the evening. earlier start time. Again, Christmas/holiday break has started here at Carthage, as it has for most schools. Answering back with a 3-ball of his own is Dario Biaggi. Biaggi, the 4th leading scorer for the team, 18 for 34 from 3. So an above 500 shooter from three-point land. Oh, nice rotation, not stepping out. Up strong with the left, still in the air. Johnson comes away with it.
Yeah, and that was great tenacity by Colton Sigel on the defensive end, trying to make sure, hey, I want to steal it, and then they ended up leading it in. Ryan Johnson coming down with the rebound and trying to lead that offense as Julian Campbell is fighting 15 players, gets the and one. You can't stop him. You only can hope to contain him.
That is pure strength. I mean, he was double teamed, passing half court, and was able to still muscle it up for the old-fashioned and one opportunity.
I mean, I think we said it beforehand that this is probably more than likely going to be the Julian Campbell show, and so far it's been proving it. 13 points already in this first half.
Checking in now is Furkan Muhammad. Two-point lead for the Firebirds with 4.5 remain. And stick around for the halftime show. Scores, stats, highlights, and more. A foul going to be called. Let's see who it's on. It might be against Ortiz. Actually, it's going to be called against Rodney Murphy. Campbell down low. Oh my goodness, another and one. The big man flex from down low in the paint. Campbell, 16 points already in the game.
Right now he is averaging a point a minute, which
Good math.
good math.
Good math.
It's insane with how much he can do against this IIT squad. But I mean, like, hey, like we said before, Campbell, two inches of height and about 80 pounds on the tallest player for the Scarlet Hawks. So it's gonna be a rough night for them down low.
Well, again, at this point, every time he's in the game, he just yells, "Feed me more," and you keep feeding him until he's full. And that might not be all game. Williams takes it away. Has Johnson on the right, and Johnson loses control. It was an odd bounce, kind of hit at the foot, ricocheted up, not quite there.
Yeah, the bounce pass didn't really have enough bounce on it to come up. Just sort of was a little bit low, especially with Ryan Johnson, who is standing at 6'7" as well. So getting it a little bit higher is always rough, especially when you have AJ Williams throwing it to him, who's standing at 6'3".
3:30 remaining. Scarlet Hawks had the lead most of the contest so far. A little bit of run. Oh, nice swat from behind. Campbell tried for the big man block, but made contact on the way down. So IIT will head to the line for two.
I mean, I think if you're Carthage, I think you take that. Unfortunately, obviously this is Julian Campbell's first foul on the night, but hey, that's two free throws. So hopefully they're able to miss one. But again, if you're Campbell, that's still a nice block by Campbell.
Good off the front of the rim. So a very good free throw shooting team is IIT, a 720 team from the line. Able to get the second. Here's Rodney Murphy. Underneath, Campbell gets his own rebound, tries to go up, has it swatted. So tried to go up quick with it, just couldn't get it to fall. Underneath, that thought it was gonna be a foul against Johnson. And just like that, IIT back to within two. Swatted away, ill-advised pass once again for the Firebirds. Scarlet Hawks to tie or take the lead. No good off the side of the rim. Offensive rebound and a travel going to be called. Amazing hustle by IIT. as a timeout's going to be called for the Firebirds, 33-31. Your score, again, alongside my broadcast colleague Tylor Sorensen. I'm Peter Ferreri. Tylor, talk us through some of the news and notes so far. What do you see? What stands out in this contest so far?
I mean, number one has to be Julian Campbell's offensive, but basically tenacity, just being able to draw in 3-4 bodies for the IIT team. I think he seems to keep on finishing it. They're going to be able to do it. But if you're IIT, I think just the amount of being able to get the shots up and how fast they've been able to get the shots up and having them fall, it's really good. And then also on the defensive end for IIT, just being able to, hey, we're going to get these steals. This is how you want to play this full court press. Get those steals, get those blocks, just get Carthage on their toes a little bit, just make them a little bit nervous. And that's exactly what IIT has been able to do so far.
You know, something else to mention, and again, shout out to Eric Willowite, the sports information director for IIT. The usual starter for Illinois Tech is number 11, Josh Aguadi, the 6'10", 220-pound forward, injured, did not make the trip. And so I believe he actually might have made the trip. I believe that's him on the bench. The point is, their big man not starting today. Imagine what we could have seen with that battle between him and Campbell. So again, the kind of the prognostication was, all right, shoot from the three, hope they fall. Campbell finally misses a shot. He sits at 17 overall. But, you know, didn't get the battle of the big, so that's why you see a much different quick rotation to try to stop Campbell. From the far side, one pass bounce. Using a bit of the shot clock as Nesbitt checks back in and he gets the board.
Yeah, and exactly like you said, battle of the bigs is exactly what an IIT doesn't want to happen right now. Especially with Julian Campbell down there just towering over everybody, it seems like.
And shot no good. Nice rotation on that one, still no good. Minute and a half remains. Firebirds have a 2-point lead in possession. No full court press this time around. Let's see what they decide to do offensively. Screen to the right, Johnson for Sigel. Or Tanner Lamb marked that. Williams looks in for Campbell on the pass. The give and go. Julian Campbell, 19 points. Already 2 more than his season average.
Yeah, I mean, right now Campbell is just, it's basically like you said, just feed the big man no matter what as soon as he goes down, and it's been working so far for Carthage. Obviously they are down. They are up only by 4 points, but that's because IIT has been hitting those shots and hitting them consistently. Right now from 3, IIT is sitting at about 23%, so a little bit lower than I thought. But I mean, like, they're just shooting it at such a high volume from the field, so they're just able to get those shots to get in a fall.
Dario Biaggi, right now, I guess you could say a quiet evening. As when we look at the stats overall, you know, he's one of the players that's really going to have to step up. 6 points so far, second leading scorer. The rotation's been there, but right now we've seen, again, the length of Carthage not allow IIT to take the easy shots.
Yeah, it really has. And when you look at Carthage's side of things, they only really have 5 scorers right now. Three of the players that have been in the rotation haven't scored a basket yet. So it's really just been Julian Campbell taking charge and being like, hey, these guys, they can't stop me. Put me down low, put me at the block, and let me just do work as much as I can.
4-point lead for the Firebirds. 1:10 remaining. We thank you for being with us on the Firebird Broadcasting Network, and happy holiday season. So Tylor, what's going to be on the menu? I mean, we're going to be here. Are you going to be with me again tomorrow? Correct?
Yes, I will.
So again, tomorrow, reminder everybody, the women's game are going to be taking on St. Norbert College. So make sure to join us for that game. That is going to be a tip-off of, I want to make sure I get the right time, 2 o'clock Central Time. But again, you know, you always talk about the menu items, and we could dive more into it during the second half, but I'm excited to hear if there's more of this cheesy hash. You know, is that going to be back on the menu?
Yes.
Or is that a Thanksgiving only
No,
treat?
it will be back on the menu. Fortunately, I will make sure it's on the menu no matter what.
It's like if I request one thing, it's the cheesy hash browns. Williams goes off to Nesbitt. Campbell taking a breather to finish out the opening half. Nesbitt falling away, no good. 7-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Wouldn't be surprised if the Scarlet Hawks take most of that time off the clock. Nice behind the back, over the outstretched arms of the big man. Ryan Johnson stands 6'7", and number 3, DeAndre Vortez, needed all of that to get over. Vortez arguably the quickest player for the Scarlet Hawk squad. Somebody's got to take a shot, looking for the handoff. That was one of the most intriguing sequences I've seen, and here's why. IIT is, all right, so IIT has 2.6 seconds left. Sigel's checking in. Belatovich picked up the ball right at half court. Nobody came to help. They just all stood around, and I'm sure Coach Jarakovic is going to have that conversation. Fading away for 3, no good off the front of the rim. And going into half, the home Firebirds lead in the Battle of the Birds against the Scarlet Hawks 35-33. We'll be back in a few minutes with the halftime report right here on FBM, the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
Carthage Athletics would like to thank the following corporate sponsors. Doctors of Physical Therapy, the official physical therapy provider of Carthage Athletics. Ballman Auto Stores. Satori Energy, Comprehensive Orthopedics. BSN Sports, Nike. Stella Hotel and Ballroom, the Hampton Inn and Suites. The Mechanical, Riley Construction. Pepsi, Public Brewing. Badger Bus, Parable. Culver's, Jersey Mike's, Chick-fil-A, and Giordano's.
Who loves Tarble gold beer? This one has juiciness like a soft, spicy, and delicious. The gold beer is like the karate dude flipping around.
Remember that the game
Welcome back to the Firebird Broadcasting Network halftime report. You may be saying to yourself, where is the cheer team? Where's the dance team? Well, it is holiday/Christmas break, so they've been allowed to go home to see their families and friends, and so we'll talk to you during what normally you may see some outstanding routines here going back and forth. So we thank you for joining us on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Alongside Tylor Sorensen, I'm Peter Ferreri. Tylor, talk to me through some of the numbers. Again, Carthage had a lead, but a little bit of a lapse at the end. Coach Jarakovic probably not going to be happy, but they have a chance to right that wrong right out of half.
Yeah, they really do. The one big thing that I'm looking at is the turnovers. Obviously, both these teams have over 5. Carthage does have 7, so one above IIT, but just that full court press is giving Carthage fits, it seems like. Carthage, they don't really have that. They don't have A.J. Johnson. Obviously, we were talking about him going day to day. So they don't have that sort of core element. They do have Ryan Johnson, who's in, but he is just a first-year guy, so you can't really rely on him as much to break it. So you got to just find that person that's like, hey, we just got to calm down, relax, take a deep breath, and just be like, hey, even though they're doing that full-court press on us, we can break it easily. We've seen it before. We've seen it a few times, so we know how to break it. We know how to do everything like that. But the one good thing for Carthage, this is just the Julian Campbell show. 19 points already in the first half. He's just going to go off no matter what, especially like we were talking about before, 2 inches taller than the IIT's tallest guy, as well as 80 pounds heavier. Like, I mean, how can you stop it?
I don't know if you can. You can stop, you can only hope to contain.
Yeah, we're seeing some ways, though. They're basically saying, hey, our entire team, just go after him. Go after Julian. We'll leave them open. And then, unfortunately, with that blind set, Carthage has been having some wide open shots. They just haven't been able to fall. They just haven't been able to fall at all.
Yeah. Well, and again, you've seen it not only that side, but again, let's play this scenario. If Carthage was without Julian Campbell, be a completely different team altogether. That's what the Scarlet Hawks are dealing with right now.
Yeah, it really is, and especially because we talked about it a bit. Number 11, Josh Aguiwe, just being out, it's a detriment to this IIT team, especially because, like, hey, that's your anchor down deep, and especially with Carthage, they do have number 24, Anthony Barrero, down there as well. That's a more defensive style sort of center, a lot more, hey, I'm going to play defense. My offensive game isn't really there completely, but I'm able to get you a point here and there, but Julian Campbell just is able to flip that switch and just go off completely.
That he is. So we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, second half action. 35-33 your score. 2-point lead for the Firebirds over the visiting Scarlet Hawks of the Illinois Institute of Technology out of the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference. We'll be back in 5 for the second half action right here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. And welcome back. It's time for second half action on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. I'm Pete Ferreri alongside my broadcast colleague, as always, Tylor Sorensen. 35-33. Let's see what the Scarlet Hawks can do defensively in this opening second half sequence. In for the Firebirds, the same starting five that they had to begin the game. Again, it's been the Julian Campbell show. 19 points for the big man. And a quick turnover. Trying to answer back. Vlahovic able to get the defensive board. Man, that would have really started things off well for IIT if that went down.
Yeah, it really would have. But that's sort of how they open it early, going on a 5-score run. Okay, Williams. Nice job catching him in the air, making sure, hey, I'm going to take a step into the zone off the baseline and ends up getting the two to get this lead up, lead up 4.
Pump fake now, turnaround jumper, no good. And again, that's where they miss their big man, Asdasaf Iguade, out of St. Ignatius College Prep, the 6'10 freshman. But I will say this, without that note, without saying out loud to, the viewers at home that may not be familiar with this squad, you wouldn't think they're losing, or excuse me, that they are without their big man because they've done, my point being, Tylor, it shows very good coaching by Coach TJ Gray and assistant coach, Ebenezer Nunu to get the rest of the team ready. Okay, we know we're without the big. We're going to find a way around that.
Yeah, and they really have, getting those quick shots, making sure, hey, we're taking these open shots and making sure we're taking shots that are efficient for us. As Ryan Johnson takes the charge, just being, and I mean, going back to it as well, you talked about it a bit, IIT's coaching staff just being like, hey, even though, yes, we are 3-5 on the season, our coaching staff is still really good at making sure, hey, we're going to be prepared for every moment we can be.
Vlahovic, tried the no-look to Williams. Jurakovic telling Vlahovic more or less slow down. We've heard that a lot this season. But again, Vlahovic used to be the star of the show, but having the likes of Campbell and Sigel and Nesbitt now able to take the load off of the one-man band has really been the difference for this Firebirds team this season. Pop up, trying to get a rebound. Able to do so is Tekla Gergis. Driving in, foul going to be called on Campbell. It was close, but it looks like going to the line for two is going to be Vian.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things as well that it's like, hey, IIT, they're trying to get points no matter which way they can, and that was actually called on Vlahovic. I thought it was going to be called on Campbell.
Agree on that. At least that's what we saw, but again, maybe Vlahovic came around from the other side and swiped, but nonetheless, shot up good on the first. Scarlet Hawks back to within 5. Can they make it 4? Second free throw good as well for Vian, second leading scorer on the team. 18 for 26 from the free throw line, so just at about 700. We'll get closer to that mark. Pass to Vlahovic, triple team, swiped away. Good job defensively, Tekla Gergis again. Tekla Gergis now. Passes to the right, open for 3, bang, Garrison Carter. And just like that, the Scarlet Hawks back to within 1.
And we've been seeing that so far all day. Carthage, as soon as they get down into the deep lane, as Antoine Nesbitt high flying ends up at the rim. But as soon as they get down towards the block and down closer to the basket, and IIT they aren't afraid to send 3 bodies there to just make sure, hey, it's going to be a tough shot no matter which way you go for it.
Driving with the right hand, just lost the handle. A rare dribbling mistake by Gigstad. Williams looks for Nesbitt. He's open for 3. Finds each and every one. Big 3 ball for Firebirds who extend their lead back to 6. Pump fake, Campbell. Oh, what a nice move by Vion out of Riverside. Had Campbell fooled, pump faked him, turned back in. And that's what, you can say, okay, we don't have the strength, but we can make that quick spin and take advantage in that sense.
Yeah, we've seen it so far, especially in this season where Julian Campbell, he's good. That deep three for Antoine Nesbitt, making it 15 points on the night so far. But Campbell, when he's getting out of the lane and out towards the three-point line, his feet work doesn't seem to be the greatest. Obviously, he is just a sophomore, so that's going to come more with being around the system and being in the offseason. But it's like that's one thing that IIT's been focusing as a weakness and trying to take advantage of.
Oh, beautiful. Shot by Tomas Tekla Gergis out of Harrison Community High School. He's really doing a good job in the second half. I mean, only 6 points right now, but just really switched to another gear.
Yeah, and that's on a lot of the IIT guys as well, as they do end up getting a break as well. But one player as well for the side of Carthage, Antoine Nesbitt, coming out getting 15 points. Started the game off with 7, cooled off a little bit towards the later half of the first half. So now at the beginning of the second half, starting on fire again, making sure, hey, I still want to get these baskets no matter what and try to get this W.
Williams is open if they can find it. Nesbitt tries to get it into Campbell. Ill-advised pass by Tanner Lamb. Right into the hands of Ian. For 3. No good. Running it down is Lamb. Back to Williams. And no harm, no foul. Strong pass to Johnson. He's got the height advantage and a blocking foul. Going to be called on DeAndre Vortez. As his feet were shifting just a little bit, but that's all it takes.
Yeah, I mean, DeAndre Vortez sitting at 5'11". That's sort of the best way how you can block it. Ryan Johnson, 6'7", just trying to take the chair out from him as soon as he tries to go back. And unfortunately, like you said, his feet were moving, so he wasn't able to move fast enough to try to get that turnover.
For 3, the big man. Rims out, no good. Campbell tries to fight for it. Just that extra bit of hustle by Vortez. Five minutes into the second half, 5-point lead for the Firebirds. Pulling up for the long range 2, good. Desmond Price out of Luther North College Prep, logging his first minutes and points of the game. And the aforementioned Price able to get a hand in. So besides the cheesy hash browns, what else is it? Any specialties specific for the holiday? Is it Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's? Is it a whole slew of things? How's it kind of look in the Sorensen household?
We're changing it up this year. So before it was, we would just go to our Nana's. It's Antoine Nesbitt for 3. A little bit off center, but I mean, hey, if he's hot, he's hot, trying to get that hot streak going. But this year, normally it's just at my Nana's. We do it we do it Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and we'll just do it there. But now this year we did move, so we're a little bit out in a little bit of a bigger house. So this year we're having Christmas Eve at my Nana's. I don't know what we're doing for dinner.
Okay.
But then Christmas Day, they're coming over to my house. Colton Sigel trying to find his first points. Isn't able to. But Christmas Day, we're now coming over to our house. They're coming over to our house, and we're having big cheesy Zeta.
Ooh.
So it's one of my favorites, so we're going to be having that. Just a small little get-together. We haven't really had a big get-together ever since my grandpa's unfortunately passed back in 2016. But, I mean, hey, it's always nice having a few of the family members over.
So what I have noticed by the menu choices, you are a fan of main dish with cheese added.
I mean, I've
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, we're currently in Wisconsin, so I think no matter what, I think you ask every Wisconsin, it's something with cheese no matter what.
So is it a specific type of cheese? Is it, are we going with a Munster cheese? Any Swiss? What is it different based on the dish?
On the Zeta, it's 7-layer. It's 7 style cheese,
okay.
So it's a lot of like Italian. My personal favorite cheese is pepper jack.
Ooh, yeah.
I like the spice. I like everything like that. My mom's favorite is Munster, so
okay.
So we do have a bit of that, but mine is always pepper jack, and it's always just like, hey, you got to have cheese on it no matter what. Whenever we go to Olive Garden for my mom's birthday, it's always, hey, you want to add Parmesan cheese to it? Yes. And then I'm like, just keep it going, no matter what. I always feel like
the cheese.
Yeah, I always feel pressured when they're like, just ask me to stop, and I'm just like, I always feel pressured to say stop after a reasonable amount.
Yeah, and then you're like, still not enough.
Yep.
Scarlet Hawks hanging tough within 4. Nice move toward the middle. Rodney Murphy bringing the Scarlet Hawks back within 2. So again, it's a non-conference game, but again, you know, you still want to come away with a win. You still want to play your best ball and, you know, keep the well-oiled machine going. Questioning the foul is Desmond Price, but from our vantage point, fairly obvious, but nonetheless. So team 6th foul already against IIT in the second half. So a lot more fouls in the second half than in the first.
Yeah, I mean, if you're IIT, the one thing that I think that came out in the halftime was like saying, hey, we're going to be aggressive. Colton Sigel still trying to get his first few points on the board. Obviously, he scored a 3 earlier as that ball goes IIT's way. But just they're going to be aggressive for every loose ball no matter what it seems like. Every pass, they're going to try to be in the lane, just trying to stay active on the defensive side of the ball.
Coach Jarakovic kind of telling one of the officials that from his vantage point, it hit a Scarlet Hawks hand. I believe he's saying Rodney Murphy touched it, but nonetheless, Scarlet Hawks can tie or take the lead. That nice little short range jumper. Again, Rodney Murphy. They're taking advantage of the small lineup right now for Carthage. Again, no Balatovich, no Campbell, no Johnson. I mean, it is a all small lineup, and IIT's tied it. Sigel drives the lane, pump fakes, goes up, not the shot he would have liked, off balance, fading to his left. And so they're saying it's Carthage possession, but timeout will be taken, 12:03 remaining. We are tied at 48 apiece on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Hello, everybody. Again, once again, we appreciate you being with us on this Friday evening, a bit earlier than usual. But Tyler, tied at 48. Right now, it is a scoreless 2 minutes for Carthage, and they're 1 for their last 6. Not the offensive output they'd be liking at this stage of the game.
No, it really hasn't. And the one thing as well that you got to realize is, hey, in the court right now, obviously Antoine Nesbitt is still in, but it's still a very small ball lineup.
Yeah.
There's not really a lot of height, and that's the one thing that IIT has. They have those quick hands, the quick feet. They have that speed to them. Whereas the one thing that's been going well for Carthage is, hey, we've been leaving Julian Campbell down there. Yep. They've had a double team, triple team, almost quadruple team him down to the paint. So you got to try to focus like, hey, we want to get our big guy back in. Obviously, we're giving him a little bit of a break after that nice first half. But you got to find a way to implement him back in and make sure, hey, we want you to sort of be our offense, but also be a little bit of a decoy. As soon as you go in, get the ball, go it right back out to the open man. We got to try to hit those threes.
Well, something else to mention, and it just shows, and, you know, we talked with Coach Jarakovic. Again, reminder, everybody, post-game show with Coach Steve Jarakovic immediately following the game right here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network, so make sure you tune in for that. But one of the things he's told us is he has a shorter rotation this year. Not physically speaking, but less players he's adding in his rotation. With that being said, when A.J. Johnson, one of your best shooters for the team, is out, that really disrupt things when it's that shorter bench.
Yeah, it really is. And just we're seeing it today, just the low scoringness of this game, as well as versus Elmhurst. We talked about it beforehand, only 23 points in the first half versus Elmhurst. Obviously, they scored a little bit more than that in this first half, scoring 35. But still, it's a very low-scoring game than what Carthage really is expecting of this young season so far.
Balatovich now drives with the right, nothing there. Gets the ball right back from Lamb. Drives in with the right hand, loses possession. They're saying it was tipped. That's up in the air. On the ground, just a sloppy play. So being called for the foul, Rodney Murphy, what a bailout for Carthage. I mean, that's luck.
Yeah, that is a lot of luck, and that's just being overly aggressive if you're IIT. You really didn't need to shove number 4, A.J. Williams, to the ground and try to get the ball. So they did have it. So now we're seeing some substitutions coming for IIT, but that's just being overly aggressive. You can teach being aggressive, but you can't be over aggressive, especially when you're already in the bonus.
You want to talk about maybe the only lopsided number of this contest? 7-1 right now, the foul differential in half number 2, resulting in A.J. Williams at the line, 11:45 remaining in the game, and already in the 1-1.
Yeah, and in the first half as well. I don't think we hit the bonus until about maybe less than a minute in the first half. So now we're in the bonus already with over 10 minutes to go. It's if you're IIT, yes, you can go aggressive, but you gotta slow it down just a little bit.
So Firebirds now will be in the 1-1 for the remainder of the game. Lead by 2. Lamb gets the ball, kind of a quick turn, we'll say. But foul going to be called. That's finally the second foul on the Firebirds in this half, and it will be on Colton Sigel, his second. So Biaggi's into the game. Here's that smaller lineup now for the Scarlet Hawks. So it's kind of like the opposite, but with that being said, none of the 3 bigs in the game right now for Carthage. You do not have Campbell, you do not have Bernero, and you do not have Johnson. And so all small right now for Carthage. You do have Phil Balatovich in the game. He's 6'5", so he'll try to get you the muscle as much as possible. Out to Sigel. Can he find another 3? No good. Cold evening for Colton Sigel. He is now 1 for 7. However, just as I say that, Sigel gets some points.
I mean, hey, that's the one thing you can do. Obviously, Colton Sigel is a 3-point specialist for this Carthage squad, but just you got to try to drive in, find the lane, and make sure, hey, we want to start getting those 2 points, getting some points on the board for us. As another foul for Colton Sigel.
It was a clean foul, though. Trying to go up with the ball is Garrison Carter, again, the leading scorer out of Island Lake. For this IIT team, again, from our vantage point, seemed pretty clean. As Campbell looks to check back in. Got to imagine that Coach Jarakovic is really trying to get, his bigs as much breathing time as possible.
Especially,
I was just going to say, if you notice now in the background, some of the players holding up signs, so shades of college football. It's not often you see that. I don't know if I've ever seen it at the collegiate basketball level. Maybe it was the rotation that they wanted to do or the play for rebounding, but nonetheless, pass to Balatovich. Oh my goodness, misses the layup, goes up, gets his own board, and is going to be fouled going to the line for 2. So missed a point-blank layup twice, and then finally on the 3rd try gets fouled.
I mean, Philip Balatovich just isn't having a night right now. Only 2 points on the night so far. Just trying to find it and just isn't able to get anything to fall right now.
So uncharacteristic. I mean, yes, you have Julian Campbell at 19, but let's not forget, as Balatovich misses the first, Campbell scored most of those 19 very, very early in the game. If you look at Julian Campbell's numbers, he had 19 in the first half. He has not scored in 9.5 minutes in the second half. So Balatovich misses them both. Balatovich from the free throw line, 21 for 53. So he is now under 400 on the season, and that's going to dip a bit after those missed 2. Hand in the face, able to deliver. There's that height advantage for Vian. Tied again at 52. So now we are in the 1-1. As discussed, 8 fouls now. Pass into Campbell. He gets it swiped away cleanly by Biaggi. Blocked away by Nesbitt. Williams tries to pass it to Balatovich. Thought there might have been contact. Again, trying to go too fast is Balatovich, and we're tied at 52.
Yeah, and that's sort of been the story for Baladovic so far tonight. Is just he's been going too fast, and that's one thing that IIT's been doing as well. Is just going too aggressive, too fast. If everybody just needs to take a nice little deep breath and just make sure, hey, we want to make sure we can get some points already.
Good defense by Nesbitt, something they've missed at the one guard position. Baladovic gets the board. And 1-and-1 situation already. They're probably not afraid to foul Baladovic. Williams looks for three and finds it. A clutch three-pointer from the Firebirds to break up that dry spell, and they're back up by a 3.
Yeah, and that's exactly what A.J. Williams needed, going up to 10 points now on the night. A.J. Williams, one of the more streaky shooters that Carthage has had, just especially in getting these nice streaks going on and just being like, hey, 2 minutes, I will be taking over this game.
3-point lead. We want to remind everybody we will be back tomorrow, 2 o'clock, St. Norbert at Carthage on the women's side, so make sure you tune right back in. You'll hear our two sultry voices once again, and hopefully not tune out. But on the flip side, the men's team heading out of town, going to Miami Shores, Florida. And then after the new year, they start CCIW play to finish out the season Jan the 3rd in Chicago against North Park, and then back home against Milliken January the 6th. So that'll be a nice little break for them. As for the Scarlet Hawks, who again play off of in between the red line or the green line, whichever route you want to take. It's kind of funny, both of those L trains, Tylor, split the campus, so you can take either of them and get to the facilities. Oh, nice block by Williams. Wasn't quite sure where that possession was going, but as for IIT, they won 2 out of the last 3. They defeated the men's side of St. Norbert and Marion in Wisconsin. They then lost to MSOE at the Keating Sports Center. And then after today, we'll see if this shot's good. It is not. Nice offensive board. No look, as finally coming down with it is Tanner Lamb. But with that being said, IIT, they got a few more games before the new year. They head to DePaul this Sunday. Then they are back home at Keating Sports Center against Wisconsin Lutheran Tuesday. And then they finally get a little bit of a break. So what a turnaround if you look at it, Tylor. I mean, here today, Sunday at DePaul, Tuesday at Wisconsin Lutheran. I mean, it's a game break, a game break, a game break. Then they get a little bit of a long break before they take on a Carthage rival in North Central College. And that'll be Saturday, December the 30th.
Yeah, not to mention as well, they're at DePaul, so in Indiana coming from here. So it doesn't even seem like they're able to really go home after this night. They'll basically be driving from here tonight, staying home for the night, and driving almost all the way back out to Indiana.
Yeah. 57-52, a 5-point lead after it was tied at 52 apiece. IIT now up to 9 fouls with 8:10 remaining. Let's talk about the Scarlet Hawks. You're down by 5, but every time you've been down, you found your way back, and more times than not have not only been able to tie, but find at least a 1-point lead. What do they have to do to finish strong? You know, nobody's in, perceived foul trouble. The most anybody has, by all accounts, you have 3 fouls against Carter. So, of course, your best player, offensively speaking, has the most fouls, but the rest anybody has is 2. Do you get more aggressive at this point, or do you wait till it gets a little closer to the end before you really try to change up the tempo?
I think you still play a little bit aggressive. I don't think you should go as aggressive as you have been. Obviously, having 9 fouls with just over 8 minutes left. But I mean, you can take back that aggression a little bit. But the one thing that they have been doing really well is as soon as Carthage gets into the paint, they're just surrounding them, making them nervous no matter what. We've seen it multiple times with Buladovic, Campbell, even Ryan Johnson, who hasn't scored a point yet in this game, just being surrounded. And that's been one thing that IAT's been doing really well, so I'll keep that going, but just try to be a little bit less aggressive on loose balls and passes just to make sure, hey, we don't want them to get those free 2 points, just keep on getting this deficit up higher and higher and higher.
No, you bring up a really good point, and you've done a good job of this all game, is the reminder to those at home that maybe aren't familiar with Carthage, when you got players, Balatovich, Johnson, not scoring, that just shows you've really had to have some contributions of some other players here and there. And I think it bears mentioning, you know, not only Nesbitt himself getting 16 points, but 10 points chipped in by A.J. Williams. So, you know, 50 points out of the 57 more or less between Nesbitt, Williams, and Campbell. Nice fadeaway shot. And again, that's the shot that's been there all day for Illinois Tech, but it is a very, very complicated shot to pull down.
Yeah, it really is, especially against Julian Campbell. But going back to the points as well, talking about Ryan Johnson, he had his most points on Saturday versus Elmhurst, scoring 20 points. And today to come out and try to getting a goose egg, it's not something I think Ryan Johnson really wants. So he's still trying to get those first baskets. And you know it's probably going to be haunting him the entire rest of this game.
Wide open Lamb. Can he find it? Oh, rolls around, no good. Campbell gets the board, floats it with the right hand, and able to get it. No foul called. Jarakovic having a few words for the official after that no call. Officials today, Greg Getterson, Randall Wells, and Michael Kashirski. But again, that foul would have not been helpful, I guess you could say, for the Firebirds, or excuse me, for IIT. As first foul on the evening for A.J. Williams now. So Firebirds up to 4, but again, Illinois Tech at 9. They've done a good job. If you think about it, they hit the 7 foul mark with 12 minutes remaining. So they've done a very good job in the next 6 minutes to only have 2 fouls against Carthage.
Yeah, it really has. And it's slowed down a lot with IIT, with trying to be in the passing lanes, trying to get these loose balls. And that's exactly what I'm guessing that the Coach Gray wanted from IIT, just being like, hey, I get that we wanted to be aggressive, but let's calm down a bit. We don't want to go too aggressive and give them almost 50 free throws by the end of this game.
Trying to get in the lane to no avail. Nesbitt now drives, tries to float with the right hand. Pure strength. Antoine Nesbitt now at 18 on the evening. Carthage back up by 5, a slim 5. Second half pace has really slowed down as a line change now. 4 players coming in for IIT.
And it looks like as well, IIT is going with their height lineup, making sure, hey, Ryan Johnson is in, Julian Campbell's in. We got to get this height advantage, or at least try to minimize this height advantage for Carthage.
Williams thought about the 3 ball, decides to pull it up. The big man Johnson out the top of the key. Campbell looking for the isolation down low. Not able to get it. He's not afraid to take the 3 in his own right. Campbell gets called. Lamb calls for the screen. Nesbitt back to Lamb. Pulls up for the 3 of his own, and it's good. Biggest lead of the evening. 8 points for the Firebirds. They lead 64-56. Williams now trying to defend. Floats it up with the right hand, and one. Caden Gigstad out of Ralston Valley and Arvada, Colorado. Again, that first step had Williams off balance, but again, the difficulty of that shot. There are not a lot of people that can make it so easily as Gigstad made it look.
Yeah, and that's a very difficult shot to try to make, especially the and one, getting that 3 points. And again, just being able to be like, hey, they're also being very disruptive on the defensive end so far in the night. Obviously only 4 points, but 5 rebounds, 3 assists, making sure, hey, the basketball's going to keep on moving no matter what.
Johnson, they're leaving him wide open for 3! The big man finds a 3 ball. Ryan Johnson, his 3rd 3-pointer on the season, nails it down.
Yeah, is finally able to get his first baskets. And then IIT immediately goes right back at him saying, hey, yes, you got your first baskets of the night, but guess what? We're still going to go at you. We're still going to try to make sure that on the defensive end, you're still going to be our target focus.
Garrison Carter. Leading scorer on the season for IIT. Second leading scorer here tonight. And a two-hand monster slam for Illinois Tech, and they are back within striking distance, 67-63.
I mean, we talked about it before. As soon as IIT goes on a little bit of a rut and goes down for the lead, they end up coming right back as Julian Campbell trying to take a quick three. And IIT getting fouled. So now Carthage has 6 fouls on the night. So they will be going into the bonus soon. But, I mean, if you're IIT, now you're like, hey, we're down by 4. We're down within striking distance, just under 4:30 left to play in this game. So now we just got to find the offensive value that we can.
Tanner Lamb trying to break through the screen right now to get ready defensively. Oh, wide open lane. And Jarakovic has seen enough. He calls a timeout. Just like that, the lead now dwindled down to 2 after a wide open pass with 4:11 remaining. Carthage up 67-65. What a run for Illinois Tech. 5 for their last 6. And a scoring drought once again. It's been such a quick comeback every time. And you said it, Tyler. Each and every time Illinois Tech falls behind, all of a sudden an instant spark, and we're back to within 2 within a minute.
Yeah, 6-0 run in the last minute 20. So just being able to get that offensive going as well has just been insane for IIT. And we talked about it as well. 7 fouls within the first 8 minutes. Since then, only 2 fouls for IIT.
Yep.
They've taken that deep breath that I talked about, making sure, hey, we can be aggressive. Just don't go too aggressive. That's one thing that IIT has been struggling with. And hey, as soon as they were able to figure that out, now they're going on another run, and now both Carthage and IIT are in the bonus with just over 4 minutes left.
Well, something else to mention, even though Illinois Tech is down their big man, as for all intents and purposes, they are still winning and leading in the rebound category 33-30. It just makes you wonder, like, what would this outcome be currently if there was that turn of events? If Iguati was in the game, it's a big what if. I don't want to play the what if game as often as maybe we do. But again, Carthage still leads the game, but this is going to be a critical possession. Again, the foul differential was 7-1. It's now 9-6. Firebirds looking for the inbound now. Ryan Johnson, along with Belatovich, Campbell on the bench, so something to keep an eye on. Ryan Johnson back to Belatovich. Belatovich, a quiet night. 1 for 6, 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Nesbitt backing in. Williams, hand in his face from Carter. Williams goes up strong. Oh, my word. Pure strength from A.J. Williams. And going to the line for 2, and that is the 10th foul against Illinois Tech. So from here on out, Firebirds will be at the line potentially quite a bit.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, what a better person to be at the line than A.J. Williams. On the season so far, he is 10 of 13 from the field, about 760 from the free throw line.
So lead back to 5 after that old-fashioned three-point play. Carter pulls up, no good off the front of the rim. Nesbitt comes down with it, 3.5 remaining. Based on how this momentum is going, I will not be surprised if Carthage takes as much time as they want off this clock. Nesbitt gets a string. Back to Johnson. Trying to go up, just flicks it And Nesbitt fouled very hard, following up the miss for Johnson, and Nesbitt now to go to the line for 2.
Yeah, I mean, Antoine Nesbitt, just a high flyer, just trying to get those rebound and trying to get that up. Now he's at the line, so, I mean, hey, if you're Carthage, you're like, hey, didn't get the rebound, but is at the line to try to get 2. So, I mean, hey, win's a win in Carthage's book.
Nesbitt a 722 free throw percentage shooter. It's the first one there, 19 points on the evening. Again, a top-heavy output for the Firebirds. Nesbitt with his 20th point. Campbell 23, Nesbitt 20, Williams with 13. Lead extended back to 7 on back-to-back successful outcomes. A quick right hook back to 5. Johnson was taking his defender a bit out. 5-point lead for the Firebirds at home on a Friday evening at Tarble Arena. And Kenosha off of Lake Michigan. Cool, calm, and collected on the lakefront is A.J. Williams. 15 points now on the evening.
Yeah, I mean, A.J. Williams, as soon as his team needs it, he's stepping up. 3-pointer for IIT. Ends up missing finally, if you're Carthage, you're saying that. But, I mean, now Carthage, they're just trying to slow it down, I would think, and try to make sure, hey, we want to take as much time off the clock as we can.
2 minutes now on the clock. 17 on the shot clock. Nesbitt 1 for 13 from three-point land this year. Make that 1 for 14. Pass underneath from the outside. No good. Bouncing around. Carter gets the offensive board. Carter gets swatted from behind. And then they're saying Baladovic stepped on the line. So shot clock will reset at 20 with 1:40 remaining. So Illinois Tech and the Scarlet Hawks take a timeout with 1:40 remaining. Appreciate you being with us on this Friday evening. Tylor, Illinois Tech, for all intents and purposes, if anything happens now, like it has all game, they're about to go on a run and get back and potentially tie this game.
Yeah, it really has. In the last run as well, it only took them 1:20 to be able to do so. They have 1:40 on the clock, so it's gonna be rough for Carthage. They got to realize, hey, we got to get our best defensive effort out there. We got to try to make sure we're not giving them any easy baskets. And as well for IIT, you got to give it to number 25, Andrew Vion, just having a quiet 20-pointer so far, just making sure, hey, our traditional big man's not in. I'm going to step up in his place, and so far he's been doing really well. He's been doing a really good job.
So just about a month ago, the season high for Williams is 21. So he's getting close to that mark. Dribbling from right to left. Pump fake, Carter tries to find the lane. Johnson, they got the tall man on him to make it as hard as possible. Poked away Baladovic on the ground as the shot clock expires. What a defensive possession or defensive sequence by the home Firebirds.
Yeah, I mean, that's great defensively if you're Carthage, just making sure, hey, we're going to try to get it no matter what, and try to make sure, hey, we're doing it. We're making sure we're going to give them the toughest shot no matter we can.
7-point lead, second biggest lead of the evening, minus the 8 they had a few minutes ago. Illinois Tech brought it back to within 2. Baladovic back to Williams, swinging it around. 10 seconds remain. Outstanding. Oh, nice job poking it away. Tech Lagurgis lays it up with the right hand. Johnson has it. I'm shocked they're not trying to foul the big man, and there indeed is that foul. The reason being, Johnson okay from the free throw line. 17 for 23, so he is shooting a 740 percentage. So he'll head to the line now for 2. His first free throws of the evening here. So now it's the free throw game the rest of the way for the Scarlet Hawks. Johnson up and makes the first. Front of the rim, back of the rim, backboard. As long as it goes in, all that matters. Johnson out to 4 points, can find his 5th with this next free throw. Rolls around, finds them both in a similar fashion. Lead back to 7. Scarlet Hawks need some points, and they need it now. Looking for 3. No good. Baladovic with the one-hand rebound. And it looks like I'm shocked they're not fouling Baladovic right now, and for being as respectful as possible, his less than stellar free throw percentage on the year. Instead, they wait for Nesbitt.
Yeah, I mean, Nesbitt on the season so far is shooting about 7.22 from the field, drains the first one. But I mean, on the game so far, 21 points.
Yeah.
His previous highest was 19 at Anderson, Indiana, or versus Anderson from Indiana. So it now has a new season highest.
Thought about the 3, probably just should have taken that. That goes out of play. 1 second and change differential between the shot clock and the game clock. 8-point lead for the Firebirds. Carter needs to take a 3. Does so off the back of the rim, no good. Johnson fights for it. Turnaround floater with the right hand. And timeout going to be called by the Scarlet Hawks. Game at 6. But looking at this situation now, 6-point lead. We talked about it in the last possession, Tyler. Very surprised at the moment Baladovic got the ball in his hands, they didn't just go to foul. Because again, he is a below 500 shooter, so even if he makes 1 out of the 2, that's the type of deals that you're looking for. So let's see if the visiting Scarlet Hawks try to force the hand of Carthage to get it to Baladovic and then have him be the foul.
Yeah, not to mention, not even just below 500, below 400 free throw shooter. So he's easily, obviously we talk about how well he is on both the offensive and defensive end, but the free throws, it's got to be there a little bit. Obviously, not everybody's perfect, so everybody has to have that one flaw for Baladovic. It is the free throw, so hey, you got to try to make sure, if you're Carthage, you got to say, hey, I don't want to say that you're not going to be in the game, but we don't really want you in there because we want to have our more high free throw percentage shooters in the game, just so if they do end up fouling us, then we are going to be more reliable from the free throw line.
Lead still 6, sits at 6. Say that 6 times fast. For Tylor Sorensen, I'm Peter Ferreri. Appreciate you joining us on this Friday evening. Just about an hour and a half of game time so far. Very, very fast first half. Hardly any fouls. Second half slowed the pace down a little bit. Firebirds looking to come away with a close victory against a non-conference opponent. Coach Jarakovic calling a timeout on the inbounds, I believe, or was it a foul? Okay, so my apologies. Foul was called. And it was called off the ball because I was staring at Nesbitt. I'm like, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, I didn't see it go in, but apparently you can't, it was off the ball foul. So now Baladovic was out. Now he's coming back in. I'm guessing for this defensive effort to try to make sure, hey, even though we're going to take you out for the offensive, as soon as it goes to the defensive, we're going to put you back in because we know how well you can be on the defensive side of the ball.
Tanner Lamb up and good. And exactly, that's the strategy. Have him in on defense. And I hate, he's one of the best players in the history of Carthage men's hoops. So we mean no disrespect, but it just hasn't been as successful of a season at the free throw line that he would have liked. But again, a lot of games left to be played, a lot of time to get that percentage back up. Tipped away by Williams. 8-point lead, 14.6. Illinois Tech needs a 3 right away.
Yeah, they really do. And just to try to cut this down to 8 points.
And there's that 3. Rex Chapman style, like fading away. And Illinois Tech back to within 5.
And Colton Siegel coming back in as soon as we go with the offense. My guess is Baladovic is going to come back out for the offensive portion of it. So, I mean, hey, if you're Carthage, that's the best way you can do it. Get your more high percentage free throw shooters out there. Obviously, Bulatovich, really good on the offense, really good on the defense, but just that free throws. Everybody's got to have a weakness, no matter what.
Sure.
You can never be perfect on all quarters of the floor unless you're in the pros and named LeBron James. But even then, he still did have those sort of weaknesses early in his career. So you got to just learn with it and be like, hey, we can't get you in because of this. Okay, that's fine. I'll be in for the defense, and I'll be able to make sure, hey, I'm used no matter what.
So we'll see what happens this time around. Again, the players likely to be in the contest for Carthage, very successful from the free throw line for all intents and purposes. 5-point advantage, but again, that's not to say that Illinois Tech doesn't get a steal and launch up a shot of their own. 5 points is not insurmountable. 10-second set, but they need a stop, and they need it here. So as you see, Colton Sigel confirming he can move throughout the baseline on this inbound. Finds the bounce to Nesbitt, and immediately foul. That's going to be called against Gigsted. Took just about a second off the clock, so that's what you want. Minimal amount of time. Let's see if Nesbitt can deliver from the free throw line in his own right. 4 for 6 from the charity stripe this evening. Like that, 5 for 7. The other thing to keep in mind, too, if you look at the end result of this game, Illinois Tech, shooting from the field a very respectable 43.5%, but the amount of tough shots they've made, leaning, falling away, one-handed, like you saw, we said that Rex Chapman style three-pointer. I mean, they have been tough shots most of the game that they've gotten.
Yeah, they really have. Illinois Tech shooting just under 22% from the three-point line, whereas Carthage is having a complete opposite from their time at Elmhurst on Saturday, shooting 40, just under 42% from the three-point line. So they're not taking as much, but they're taking much more efficient shots.
Again, just a reminder, at the conclusion of the game, stick around for the post-game show. Coach Steve Jerichovic to join us up here in the nest. Nesbitt makes them both. And with 3, with 2, with 1. Ooh. Banks it in for fun. Resulting in your final, the Firebirds win the Battle of the Birds on a Friday evening in December, 83-79. We're going to take a quick timeout. Coach Steve Jerichovic to join us up here in the booth in just a few moments for the post-game show on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
Thank you for supporting Carthage Firebird Athletics. Have a good evening and a safe trip home.
And welcome into the postgame show on the Firebird Broadcasting Network alongside the victorious coach this evening, Coach Jarakovic. Coach, man, they gave you some fits. I thought maybe with their, one of their big men gone that you'd be able to take advantage. They found a way around it, but again, your resolve, your consistency. Talk us through, how you came away with the victory this evening.
They're a very good basketball team. They're well coached. They were more prepared than we were for this game. And you could say it's a little malaise with finals week going ahead, and they had 5 days to prepare without finals to really focus on us. So they came in with a really good game plan of attack, and I give them all the credit in the world. They competed their butts off. They pushed the ball in transition so well. They got a lot of guys that can break you down individually too, and got some talented post guys. Andrew Vian's a heck of a basketball player, transferred over from Roosevelt, and Garrison Carter, one of the favorite guys that we've seen. High energy, high motor, 6'5" player, but happy their guys made plays down the stretch that we needed to come out of a win, and these are always difficult games to play. Over break, right after finals. It's not a lot of energy. You got to bring your own energy coming into this type of game too. So proud of us for sticking through everything, and that's a very, very talented team we just played.
Yeah, and of course, obviously, you talk about the talent on it. Talent and urine wasn't really up to par. Obviously, Bulatovich sort of had a downer night. What's it like having, hey, Julian Campbell popped off, A.J. Williams was able to come up, and these guys were able to come up and fill the void that some of these star players weren't able to have tonight?
No, and I think that speaks to the depth of the team, depth of the program right now, and we had some guys step up big today, and obviously it's good to have Antoine back. Missed him the last couple games, so that was a huge key. Made some free throws late and got the ball where it was supposed to go. So it needed that, and not everyone's going to have their best A game every single night, so I'm proud of our guys for stepping up, and the fact you had 3 guys again that scored over 15 points. I thought A.J. Williams again had another very solid performance. Julian finishes better than anybody around the paint when he gets position. And, for a team that tried to double him on every touch in the first half, the fact he still had 19 points in the first half really got us off to a good start.
Yeah, we talked about it up here, how it seemed like he was basically getting double team, triple team, even quadruple team. Just everybody would just come in and just sink him. And it's like, what's it like having a guy that's that dominant, sort of Shaq-like, where it's like, hey, he's just basically creating space, just being alive in the paint.
When he gets to the depth and the position that he needs, he's very hard. He's a hard guard. And when he's able to post up and be inside the paint, be inside the block, where now, if you don't double immediately when the ball's in the air, you're not there in time because the ball's already up in the air, and he's probably coming down on a miss if he does miss it too. So it's good to have them. I thought he was very unselfish today. He started to see it, started to get more comfortable in the second half, and he may not have gotten the assists out of it, but he had that hockey assist. One skip across, extra pass, huge shot for A.J. Williams when we needed it in a big time.
Talk to me through these next few days. Miami, you got the sunblock ready to go. You excited for it? Okay.
It should be a good trip. These are always good team-building opportunities. We got the whole group going down with us, and a chance to play 2 teams that are going to be challenges for us. Widener, who we play next Wednesday, is 8-1. Just beat a top 20 team in the country by 20 on the road in their building. So they are they're going to be a challenge. I believe 5 of their top 6 are grad students. So they are an old, mature, experienced basketball team, and we're going to have to prepare pretty well these next few days to be ready to match up for their style because they're a pretty up-tempo team that likes to score the basketball.
Well, Coach, have safe travels. We already joked, next year the announcers you'll just come with, just sit in the background.
We can set that up, too.
Okay, good. Well, Coach, we appreciate your time. We're probably not going to see you before then. Happy holidays to you and your family, and best of luck down in Florida.
Happy holidays, guys. Thanks for everything.
All right, that was Coach Jarakovic on a nice Victory Friday. Tyler, talk us through some final thoughts, news, and notes of a 83-79 victory.
I mean, I think Coach said it best. He had a very top-heavy sort of style of the basketball today. A.J. Williams, 15 points. Julian Campbell, 23. Antoine Nesbitt, 25. And then you look all the way down to the bottom. Number 12, Tanner Lamb, only had 8 points. That's your next highest other than those 3. So very top-heavy sort of scoring night for Carthage. But, hey, they were able to come away with the win. And then looking at the other side at IIT, a lot of these players, obviously Andrew Vian just coming out at 22 total points. We sort of joked about it, a little bit of a quiet 22.
Yeah,
but was able
was.
to show up for IIT when they needed it.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank you all for joining us on this Friday evening from Tarble Arena in Kenosha, Wisconsin. On behalf of executive producer Mike Love, producer John Voinovich, the rest of the staff and crew, Yam, and directing and graphics writer on the camera. Couldn't do it without you. Appreciate you all being with us this Friday evening. This program has been a presentation of Firebird Broadcast Productions and Carthage College, copyright 2023. Make sure you join us tomorrow for the women's game against St. Norbert, 2 o'clock Central Time, right here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Once again, for